What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's exclusive segment of the greatest podcast on turf. I'm Ryan.
I'm Anthony, and today, originally, if you guys saw our post on Instagram, we were planning to do a mock draft, but today's the first day of free agency, and things got a little crazy. So we decided we're going to break down and give our thoughts on all the major free agent signings so far. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're new, keep showing us love. Check out our full episode of the podcast. We broke down the AFC West this week. Ryan was generous enough to let me rock the Cam Newton jersey this week. Recently signed him back. Got the Oklahoma Sooner hat on too. Boomer Sooner. You ready?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
To start us off, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They decided to bring back guys like Rob Gronkowski, a one-year, $12 million deal. Pretty nice signing. A little expensive, but hey. Then you got Shaq Barrett. Got him a 4-year, $68 million deal. And they also franchise tag Chris Godwin a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're bringing back that Super Bowl team. Can't say I blame them. That's what I said that they should do, and it looks like that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and Tom Brady, I mean, let's not forget he got his contract restructured so they could clear up enough money to bring back Shaq Barrett, Gronk, and his main Super Bowl nucleus. We saw him do that in New England before, taking pay cut after pay cut to keep his squad together. And we talked about it before. If Tom Brady didn't do that, they probably wouldn't have been able to afford all their main nucleus of free agents back without having some cap casualties. So Tom Brady's really I wouldn't say he's the main reason they're all back, but I think that his contract restructure definitely played a big part of it. I like the signings. It's always good to keep a team together after winning a Super Bowl, especially the main players. I think they had 20 guys, free agents. That was like the highest amount in the league. So
also brought Levante David back too. Forgot to mention that.
Levante David, one of the best linebackers in the league, and like I said, got their Super Bowl nucleus back. I like it. I think it's a good start to free agency to them. I mean, look for them to maybe bring back AB if they like him enough. I don't know.
I mean, it kind of depends on how much money he wants, but let's move on to Tom Brady's former team, your New England Patriots. Go. I'll let you go off on this.
Somebody. I think I like what we're doing so far. I mean, this isn't really like the Patriot thing to do. I feel like you never see the Patriots going out spending all their money. I mean, going into today, I checked it as I was taking notes for this week's episodes. The Patriots are number one in cap, so then they finally went and spent it. So we bought in Cam Newton. I think it's 1 year, $14 million with a $5 million base salary. The rest of it is just incentives. I like it. I want to see what he can do, run it back with us. He had an off year last year, COVID, didn't get a full training camp and didn't really know he was a starter till week 1. We bought Matthew Judon in on a 4-year, $56 million contract. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like it's a little expensive, but I think Matt Judon brings a lot to the table and can help a Patriots defense who was among bottom 4 or 5 in the league in sacks last year, so that's a big addition. We also bought in Jonnu Smith, 4-year, $50 million contract, made him the 3rd highest paid tight end in football. I was iffy about it at first, but thinking about it, Jonnu Smith, he's a versatile guy. I mean, we saw in the Titan system, he fit perfect. He can get yards after catch. They can do him on the little tight end jet sweeps. And let's be real, we've seen the Patriots offense revolves around tight end. The Patriots offense didn't flow last year because who was our tight ends? Ryan Izzo, Devin Asiasi, and Dalton Keene. I mean, our tight end room wasn't anything, and bringing in a guy like Jonnu Smith is huge for us. We also bought in guys like Nelson Aguilar. He's a sorry bum. I don't care. He's a Patriot. He sucks. He's so bad. I'll say it every time. Bought in a guy like Jalen Mills, slot corner, free safety, strong safety guy. Fits our defense. Versatile guy like Bill Belichick likes. And then we bought in Kendrick Bourne, another versatile weapon for the offense. But yeah, I like what the Patriots have done in free agency so far. Was kind of hoping for more of like a Kenny Galladay type of guy, but Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne will have to do, I guess.
Yeah, I saw a stat like Bill Belichick over his past 10 years spent a combined $400 million in free agency, and today he decided to spend about $140.
I went on Twitter. I was like, I thought it was funny. I was like, somebody needs to take his card away right now.
Yeah, but for me, I mean, the signings aren't terrible. I like Matthew Judon, Jalen Mills. I mean, he played multiple positions for the Eagles. Safety, corner, but the other signings, Jonnu Smith, he started off on fire last year, but then it kind of declined substantially. 4 years, $50 million might be a little bit too tall of a price for a tight end. I mean, time will tell though. Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne. That's kind of where it got
my
me.
goodness.
When Nelson Aguilar, is getting paid more than Corey Davis. I don't really see how that makes sense. And Kendrick Bourne, I don't really know who the guy is. So
No, he played for the Niners. I know he's a versatile weapon.
Did he even start?
Worth 3 years, $22.5 million, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But anyways, we're going to move on to the Super Bowl losers, Kansas City Chiefs. They decided to cut both of their offensive tackles and bring in a stud offensive lineman, Joe Thuney. Paid the price for him, 5 years, $80 million, 32 of it guaranteed. I mean, I like the move. We saw in the Super Bowl that Pat Mahomes was running for his life. He had more scrambling yards than, I believe, what team was the Dolphins, I believe?
Yeah.
Or the Jets, their whole run game. They needed help on their line, and Joe Thuney's going to help them with that.
Yeah, I like this signing a lot, and the reason I looked at my phone so crazy, I saw a Patriots signing, and Henry Anderson, don't know who that is, bought him in for 2 years. But yeah, the Joe Thuney signing is great. It addresses a major need. Joe Thuney can play all 5 positions on an offensive line, which is like Ryan said, the Chiefs lack offensive line. So I think it was a good signing for them, and I think it puts them in the right direction towards running it back to a 3rd straight Super Bowl appearance.
Yep. Staying in that division, the Chargers, they took Corey Linsley, made him the highest paid center in the league, I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it's worth it. If when you draft Justin Herbert, you got to protect him, beef up the trenches. I mean, I think that was their huge need on offense.
Yeah.
You kind of got skill guys like Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, so, you build up that O-line and keep them protected.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to go in too much about it. We touched on this one a lot during the podcast. So if you want to hear our description on Corey Linsley and how we felt about that, be sure to check the podcast out, link in the description. But yeah, I like the signing a lot. Moving on, the Green Bay Packers has decided to bring back Aaron Jones.
So for this
Go
one,
ahead.
I mean, I'm glad that they brought back Aaron Jones. No, I don't agree with paying a running back. I would never agree with paying a running back. So we're bringing back Aaron Jones. You're paying him 4 years, $48 million. That's a lot of price to pay, and you're letting a guy like Jamal Williams walk. For me, would I rather have Jamal Williams and less money? Yes. Than Aaron Jones and paying him $48 million. I'd rather have Jamal Williams, probably paying him $20. That's just me. And I mean, now they have Aaron Jones, the guy who's getting paid a tremendous amount, and AJ Dillon, the guy they put in a lot of capital. So I'm glad they have running backs, but they don't have receivers.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Ryan on this one. You guys know how I feel about running backs. I like the signing. Aaron Jones, a top 5, maybe top 5, definitely top 10 running back. He produces a lot in that offense. You can see he's a nice piece for Aaron Rodgers to have, but I do agree that I still don't think they know what the hell they're doing, and I think they definitely need receiver. Enough said.
Yep.
Moving on, staying in the division, it's another one we touched on during the podcast. Yannick Ngakoue signed a 2-year, $26 million deal to the Raiders. Like, I don't want to go into too much. I think it filled a position of need. They needed something else across from Max Crosby. I think he fits the scheme good with what they have going on over there. So
Just a little concerned about how he spent all this time in different teams. I mean, he went to Jacksonville, then he went to Minnesota, then he went to Baltimore. Now he's in Las Vegas. Kind of something to look at. But, moving on, the Jets kind of thought they were going to bring in a guy like Juju, but now they brought in Corey Davis, 3-year, $37.5 million to help out whatever quarterback they drafted number 2.
yeah,
Kind of upset on that one.
I think that was a solid signing. I like Corey Davis. We talked about it earlier. He had a breakout year this year. I thought the Titans were going to stick with him kind of just because of, he's a nice compliment to A.J. Brown on the other side, and he produced a lot in that offense. Like I said, had a breakout year. So I was kind of shocked to see him go. But what was that, last week, 2 weeks ago we talked about it. The Titans didn't have a lot of money, so they had to prioritize the guys they bought back, and I guess Corey Davis just wasn't on the itinerary. It's a good signing for the Jets. I feel like they're finally actually committing to become a better football team than try and win some games.
Good for them.
Yeah. And then for this next one, this is one of my favorite signings of free agency so far. The Browns bought in John Johnson III on a 3-year, $33.75 million contract. I like this one a lot. The Browns secondary, they don't have much outside of Denzel Ward. I mean, they have Grant Delpit. He missed the whole year. They have brought in a guy like Ronnie Harrison from Jacksonville last year. He was a solid role player for them. But, I mean, other than that, I think John Johnson was a great addition for them. They got him for a decent price, and I think he's going to fit good, and I think he helps push the Browns further contenders than they already are, I feel like. It helps the defense a lot.
Yeah, I saw PFF graded him, I believe, third best safety last year, so it's a good signing if he lives up to that.
Yeah.
But moving on, the Broncos signed Ronald Darby to a 3-year, $30 million deal. I don't really have much to say about this. I guess it's a good signing. It kind of makes you wonder what they're going to do with pick 9 now. Do they go corner? Do they potentially, give Drew Lock some help? You never know.
And if you want to know my thoughts about that, link of the podcast in the description. Go check it out, man. And staying with the Broncos, they bought back Shelby Harris on a 3-year, $27 million deal. Shelby Harris had a great year for them last year. They need defensive line, and to keep him around for $27 million over 3, that's not too bad. Again, talked about it on the podcast. There's a lot of guys that got signed in that division that just happened to talk about. So, yeah. Got the next one.
Moving on, the Ravens. They jumped on Kevin Zeidler when I believe he was released by the Giants, so they were like the first team calling. They were able to get him before free agency even started. 3-year, $22 million deal, which I think is a pretty good deal. Beefs up the interior offensive line, a big need for them. Another thing to look out for, though, Orlando Brown requested a trade if he's not playing left tackle. So if they manage to keep Orlando Brown, they probably have one of the top 10 offensive line because you got Ronnie Stanley coming back. But I'd like to sign it. I think it helps him out a lot.
Yeah, me too. This definitely fills a position in need for the Giants because, you saw Lamar Jackson after Marshall Yanda retired. They didn't have much on the interior line, and Lamar Jackson didn't have much time. He was scrambling around a lot. Kevin Zeidler fills, I think, and this opens up for them in the draft too because I think I mocked them, and a few different people I've seen mock them an interior offensive lineman at the end of the first round. But I think this opens up for them to be able to draft a receiver maybe or even draft an edge rusher considering they lost Ngakoue and Matt Judon. So this definitely makes offensive line go down on their list of needs. But I like the signing.
Yep.
Leading us to the Rams. I don't know where they keep. They're just pulling money from everywhere at this point. They bought back Leonard Floyd, edge rusher, for 4 years, $64 million. I like the signing. They're trying to keep as much of that top one defense in the league as they can together. They lost a guy like John Johnson, who's a safety. That kind of opens up a need for them in the draft, a safety. But Leonard Floyd, he's a good edge rusher, fits the system good. He helps apply pressure with Aaron Donald. Samson Ebukam just left. We're going to touch on that in a minute too, but I like the signing for the Rams.
I agree. Moving on to the 49ers, a team that's been pretty busy today. To start us off, we got Samson Ebukam, 2 years, $12 million. Obviously, it's a good, I like it.
Yeah,
I don't really have much to say about it. The kind of replenishing that defense, trying to get back to the number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah.
It's kind of enough to say on that one.
Yeah, it's a nice compliment to have across. You're getting a healthy Nick Bosa back next year. But, them two coming at you from each side, that's definitely something to look out for. Like you said, 2 years ago, they were the best defense in football, battled injuries last year. So I think they're definitely trying to make a run to be that back in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, for sure.
And another one on the defense, they signed Jason Verrett, 1 year, $5 million. This one is a great value signing for them. He had other offers for multi-year deals, but I saw on Twitter he wanted to prove everyone wrong, saying that he's just an injury-prone guy. He gets incentives based off of if he plays a game, if he makes a Pro Bowl, pretty much incentive-based, similar to Cam Newton's contract was. I like the signing a lot. I think it's a cool story. He's betting on himself to not get hurt and to finish the whole season, which we haven't seen much from him. So I really like this signing, and I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I agree. And to finish us off with the best free agent signing, the best extension, Kyle Juszczyk got the 5-year, $27 million deal.
Reset the fullback market.
Yes, he did. Fullbacks are going to be getting paid money now. Respect to Kyle Juszczyk, best player on that offense. Enough said.
Yeah, I like this. I don't really know the market for a fullback. I was kind of just messing around. But Juszczyk, he plays a pivotal part in that offense. He gets carries. They throw the ball to him out of the backfield. They put him in motions, try and draw the defense off. Like Ryan said, he's one of the best players on that offense. He plays a pivotal part, so I like the signing.
I said the best player on the offense.
He's one of the best players on the offense. Enough said. But now, there's still so many free agents to be signed. We'll probably either touch on it on the podcast next week or even on a part 2 for YouTube video. There's still guys like Juju, Kenny Galladay, Will Fuller, Trent Williams, just a couple guys off the top of my head. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. Be interesting to see if the Patriots are going to keep spending money.
Probably out.
Probably running low. Bill
Yeah.
Belichick decided to go on a shopping spree.
Yes, he did.
But yeah, I mean, you got any final remarks for this free agents? I think there's a lot more signings than I thought there was going to be, and I like it. Go Patriots, baby.
Yep.
Enough said.
Before we wrap up, Bud Dupree just got signed to the Titans. I think it's a good signing. I'm pretty sure he's pretty far in his rehab. I think he's getting a lot better coming off that torn ACL. The only question marks this leads is where's Clowney going? Is he staying in Tennessee? If he does, that'd be pretty good edge rushers.
Yeah.
If not, he could go somewhere else. But I like the Bud Dupree signing.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't
it,
see
really.
the full details of it. I kind of just checked before we wrapped up the video. The Titans haven't had much luck with edge rushers. We talked about it on the podcast last week or 2 weeks ago. Bought in Clowney, played 4 games, 5 games, didn't get a sack. They bought in Vic Beasley in the offseason. Went missing, didn't even show up to training camp, then got cut. So they haven't had much luck with edge rushers as of late. So hopefully Bud Dupree kind of kills that stigma real quick. I think we'll be good. Hopefully he recovers from that knee injury he suffered. Yeah, I don't have any much else to say.
That's going to wrap up this week's video, the greatest podcast on turf. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new.
Yeah, might be having a part 2 of this next week. Don't know yet, depends on how the signings go. We might just incorporate into the news segment of the podcast like we always do. Or if not, be expecting a mock draft from us. That was our original plan for today, like I said, but just got to wait till next week. Like, subscribe, like Ryan said. Check out the full podcast. All our links are in the description. Full podcast, Instagram page, Twitter accounts, all that stuff. So be sure to check that out. Keep showing us love. And we'll see you guys next week, all right?
See you.
Peace.